Today, we're heading back to Walt Disney World, this time to Hollywood Studios, after seeing just how well ChatGPT planned our day at Magic Kingdom in the last episode. Now, we're putting it to the test again to see if it can deliver just as strong at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So, with that, let's head over to Disney's Hollywood Studios to pick up the action. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're continuing our visit here to the Walt Disney World Resort with a day at Hollywood Studios. And given that our day at Magic Kingdom worked out so well, we've decided to hand over our day once again to AI and have AI plan our day. So ChatGPT has gone ahead and planned out a roster for us. We'll update it during the day or have ChatGPT update it based on the live wait times. But that's the plan. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, we have made it into the park. The time is just a little after 9:55. We've got the Chinese Theatre in the background, and I've consulted with the Oracle, otherwise known as ChatGPT, and the first ride it's recommending is going to be Star Tours, which apparently has a 5-minute queue time. So, let's head over there. Joining me on today's adventure is my wife Evie. Located in the Echo Lake section of the park, Star Tours first opened its doors on December the 15th of 1989. This was Disney's first Star Wars attraction, created in partnership with George Lucas. The original ride was a flight simulator that took guests on a chaotic trip to Endor, piloted by the hilariously unqualified droid Captain Rex. By 2010, the ride was showing its age. Disney shut it down for a full overhaul. A year later, in May of 2011, Star Tours The Adventures Continue launched with major upgrades, new 3D visuals, a new storyline, and most importantly, randomized ride sequences. That meant you could ride multiple times and never get the same experience twice. Today, guests board a Starspeeder 1000 and are accidentally thrust into the action when C-3PO takes over as pilot. You're quickly identified as the rebel spy, and from there, it's chaos in the best way possible. In April 2024, the attraction got a major content update with new scenes from The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Andor, pulling the ride into the Disney Plus era, while staying true to the spirit of the original. There's a 40-inch height requirement. It's a simulator, but pretty tame, enough movement to be exciting without overwhelming most guests. Wait times usually run 20 to 40 minutes. Lightning Lane is available, but unless the park is packed, you can probably skip it. If you're using Genie Plus, save it for headliners like Rise of the Resistance or Slinky Dog Dash. Okay, first ride of the day done. It's now 10:30, so actually it wasn't a 5-minute wait in the queue for Star Tours. It was closer to about 20-25, with the average actually being about 17 minutes for that ride. So now we're going to be heading over to Galaxy's Edge for Smugglers Run, which right now is supposedly a 40-minute ride. The historical average is about 43 minutes, so let's see how long that one takes. Welcome to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios, an immersive land that drops you right into the heart of a galaxy far, far away. Set on the remote outpost planet of Batuu, Galaxy's Edge is designed to feel like you're stepping into your own Star Wars story. The theming is next level. Weathered walls, alien architecture, droids roaming the streets, and ships parked overhead. You'll see familiar faces like Chewbacca, Rey, Kylo Ren, and members of the First Order patrolling the area. This isn't just a themed land, it's a living, breathing part of the Star Wars universe. Shops like Doc Onder's Den of Antiquities, Savvy's Workshop, where you build custom lightsabers, and the Droid Depot offer unique in-world experiences. You could sip on blue or green milk, snack at Rontu Roasters, or grab a drink inside Ogre's Cantina, the local watering hole filled with alien beats and colourful connections. And towering above it all is the Millennium Falcon, parked right in the Black Spire spaceport. And that brings us to the Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run. Millennium Falcon Smugglers Run opened on August the 29th of 2019 as part of the massive Galaxy's Edge expansion at Disney's Hollywood Studios. This was the first time guests could step inside a full-scale, life-size version of the Millennium Falcon, a dream come true for Star Wars fans. Smugglers Run puts you in the cockpit of the Falcon as part of a smuggling mission led by Hondo Ohnaka, a character from the Clone Wars and Rebels. Riders take on one of three roles: pilot, gunner, or engineer, and how well you do actually affects how the mission plays out. The ride is a real-time interactive simulator, meaning it responds to your choices. Slam into the wall? That'll shake the cockpit. Fly smoothly? You might make it out with more credits. There's a 38-inch height requirement, and motion sickness can be a factor if you're sensitive to screen-based movement, especially in the pilot seat. Wait times can vary, usually between 30 to 70 minutes. It offers a single rider line which moves faster but splits your group. Bottom line, Smugglers Run is the most hands-on Star Wars ride you can experience, and flying the Falcon is a bucket list moment. Okay, so we are heading to Tower of Terror. We've just gotten off of Smugglers Run, so from the time that we queued up to the time we got off the ride, it's about 49 minutes, so not too bad. But let's head and grab a snack first over by Tower of Terror, and then hit that ride. After checking in with ChatGPT after Smugglers Run, our next stop changed, and instead we're heading to lunch in Galaxy's Edge, so we headed to Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo. Themed like a converted hangar bay, it feels like a real spaceport mess hall. Cargo crates, ship parts, and industrial decor make it feel straight out of Star Wars. The menu leans galactic but approachable. Options include smoked kadu ribs, Endorian fried chicken tip yip, and the plant-based Felucian, kefta and hummus. It's quick service, but the food's solid and definitely a step up from the typical park fare. With lunch wrapped up, ChatGPT now sends us to the newest show at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Villains Unfairly Ever After. This show debuted in 2025 and puts Disney's most iconic villains in the spotlight, fighting for their own version of happy endings. You'll see Maleficent, Cruella, and Captain Hook all battling it out in a theatrical showdown packed with music, drama, and dark humour. But here's the hook, if you'll pardon the pun. Every show is different. Thanks to audience participation, the outcome changes, so which villain wins depends on how the crowd responds. It's unpredictable, interactive, and totally rewatchable. The theatre itself is just as impressive. It's been completely rethemed for the show, with twisted mirrors, dark gothic decor, and villain-inspired lighting that sets the mood the moment you step inside. It feels like you're entering the villain's lair, stylized, dramatic, and just a little sinister. And of course, it's indoors, so not only do you get top-tier entertainment, you also get a solid break from the Florida heat. Bottom line, Villains Unfairly Ever After is a smart, slick, and absolutely worth your time. Time for a quick snack, and we stopped at Fairfax Fair, located just before the entrance to the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. We kicked things off with the Hawaiian roller coaster ride, a refreshing drink that absolutely hit the spot. We also tried the Bell Cup of Enchantment, which was full of flavour and had an unexpected texture that made it really stand out. For something more substantial, we went with the Soba Noodle Salad Bowl. It was light, flavourful, and perfect for the Florida heat. And we couldn't leave without dessert. The Enchanted Rose was almost too pretty to eat. It's beautifully crafted, but also tastes just as good as it looks. Fairfax Fair seriously impressed us. Great drinks, bold flavours, and a solid break in the shade. It's an easy spot to overlook, but seriously worth a stop. So be sure to keep an eye out for it the next time you're heading over to Disney's Tower of Terror. Okay, after a quick pit stop for a snack over at Fairfax Fair, it's now time to hit the Hollywood Tower Hotel, Tower of Terror. Apparently, ChatGPT says it's about a 40-45 minute wait time, which is a little below average. So let's go ahead and check it out. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror opened at Disney's Hollywood Studios in 1994 and has been terrifying and thrilling guests ever since. Inspired by the classic TV series The Twilight Zone, the attraction drops you into the 1930s era Hollywood hotel that was struck by lightning, trapping 5 unlucky guests in another dimension. The theming here is next level. From the moment you step into the lobby of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, it feels like time stopped decades ago. Dusty furniture, cobwebs, flickering lamps, everything is designed to make it feel like the hotel has been abandoned ever since that mysterious night. Once inside, you're taken through a pre-show narrated by Rod Serling, which is done via archival footage and voiceover. Then, you enter the service elevator that does anything but take you smoothly to your floor. The drop sequence is randomized, so you never know how many times or how fast you're going to fall. And that free fall, it's real. You're being pulled down faster than gravity.
Both hands high in the sky, please. Both hands high in the sky. Elbows as well. Show me those jazz hands. We'll need them later. And of course, if we need anything at all, feel free to scream.
Typical wait times can range from 30 to 90 minutes, depending on the season, the time of day, and all that great stuff. It offers Lightning Lane access through Genie Plus and it's usually a top tier pick. This isn't just a thrill ride, it's a masterclass in immersive storytelling and design. Whether you've ridden it once or a dozen times, Tower of Terror still delivers one of the most unforgettable experiences in the park. With Tower of Terror complete, we exited the ride and headed straight into our next top tip. There are two Joffrey's locations at Disney's Hollywood Studios worth knowing about. One in Toy Story Land and the other right at the exit of Tower of Terror. These two are special because they're the only ones in the park offering ride-themed drinks. We decided to try the Frozen in Fear, a bone-chilling mix of frozen lemonade, Minute Maid premium lemonade, and wild grape flavours. It was icy, refreshing, and hit the spot after the adrenaline rush of the ride. And if you're looking to kick it up a notch, you can make it an adult beverage by adding Grey Goose vodka for an extra charge. A solid, flavourful cool down and a great little hidden gem most people walk right past. Okay, so that is Tower of Terror completed. From the time we got into the queue till the time we got off was about 40 minutes. So that was a little bit shorter of a queue, maybe a 35-minute queue because the ride itself is about 4 minutes. But we just had we're just heading to grab a bit of a sweet treat just right outside. So keep an eye out for that next. For our next tip, we stopped by the Trolley Car Cafe, which is the Starbucks location at the entrance to Disney's Hollywood Studios. First off, they offer free water, which is always good to know if you need to stay hydrated. But the real reason we stopped in was for two specific items. The first is the Hollywood Studios themed Starbucks mug. What makes this one special is that it still features Miss Piggy, even though the Muppet Courtyard has closed and is set for retheming. It's a little piece of park history that won't be around much longer. The second, the carrot cake whoopie pie. It's famous for a reason. Moist, sweet, and absolutely worth the stop. So, whether you're grabbing a caffeine boost or a collectible, Trolley Car Cafe is more than just a Starbucks, it's a smart stop. Okay, so that was a successful trip to Starbucks where I was able to get my mug with Miss Piggy on it. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to leave the park for a few hours. A lot of guests, when they come here, especially if they have young children, like to go back to their hotels, Airbnbs, whether it's on property or off property. So we're going to head back for a couple of hours and then plan to be back here for about 5 p.m. So we'll see you at 5. Okay, we have made it back to Disney's Hollywood Studios a little bit later than planned. The weather has not cooperated. We are coming to summer. Today's actually June the 19th, so we're pretty good into summer. And the afternoon showers hit with thunderstorms and all sorts. So we're actually here at about 6:30. So we're going to try and hit a couple more rides based on what ChatGPT is telling us to do. Maybe try a couple more snacks. And then we will head out and give our final thoughts. So we will speak to you shortly. we have consulted the Oracle, and the Oracle says to head back to Galaxy's Edge, and we're going to go ahead and ride on Rise of the Resistance, which apparently right now is a 40-minute wait time, which makes sense because just passing all the table service restaurants here off Sunset Boulevard, they are packed. So I imagine a lot of people, given it is supper time, are getting some supper before fireworks or potentially leaving. So we're going to head to Rise of the Resistance, check that ride out. We'll see you there. Okay, so as we're heading over to Rise of the Resistance, you may have noticed we've just passed Star Tours, which we rode this morning, which was a little over a 25-minute wait, I think, this morning. Right now it's a 5-minute wait. So one top tip is, if you do have the ability to stay here during rain showers or thunder and lightning, definitely stay in the park, because it does have a huge impact on wait time. So do make sure you go ahead and do that. Next up is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, arguably the most ambitious and technologically advanced ride Disney has ever built. And it's not just hype. This attraction isn't just a ride, it's a full-blown, story-driven experience that drops you into the heart of the Star Wars universe, blurring the lines between queue, pre-show, and main event. Let's talk wait times. Rise of the Resistance is notorious for its long standby lines. You're looking at typically a 90 to 120 minute wait during peak hours, sometimes more. But here's the trick. If you hit it first thing in the morning or after 6 p.m. like we are, you've got a real shot at a wait closer to 45 to 60 minutes, which is absolutely worth it for what you're getting. The ride is located inside Galaxy's Edge and opened in December 2019. It tells a completely original story set between The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. You're recruited by the Resistance and set off world on a secret mission until you're captured by the First Order. That's when things go sideways in the best possible way. The queue itself is part of the experience. It winds through Resistance forest outposts, tech rooms and briefing areas. Then you board a transport shuttle, complete with moving visuals and motion effects, only to be captured mid-transit by the First Order. That's where the real jaw drop happens. You step off the shuttle into a massive hangar bay filled with dozens of life-size stormtroopers, standing in formation under the shadow of a full-scale TIE fighter. It's not a screen, it's real. The space is so cinematic, it actually feels like you've walked into a live-action Star Wars film. Most people stop dead in their tracks. It's a moment. From there, cast members in full First Order character herd you into holding cells, and eventually you break free in a trackless escape vehicle that races through Star Destroyer corridors, blaster fire, and a face-off with Kylo Ren. The tech behind this thing is wild, from motion simulators and practical sets to trackless ride vehicles, animatronics, and massive projection mapping. Bottom line, this isn't just a ride, it's a 20-minute immersive assault on the senses, and one of the most detailed and ambitious attractions Disney's ever attempted. If you're only going to wait in one long line today, it's got to be this one. Okay, so we've just gone off of Rise of the Resistance. It is now just a little bit, around about 5 past 8. So about 55 minutes to be in the queue and to ride the attraction, what I will say is it does have quite a big pre-show, so it is quite a long ride. But now we're heading over to Toy Story Land to check out a ride and some snacks over there, so we'll see you over there. We're wrapping up our day at Disney's Hollywood Studios with a visit to Toy Story Land, and honestly, this area is a win no matter how old you are. The moment you step in, everything shifts in scale. You're surrounded by giant building blocks, oversized game pieces, and Christmas lights strung high above, making you feel like you've been shrunk down to the size of a toy in Andy's backyard. This land is packed with clever theming and kid-at-heart energy. One of the headline attractions here is Slinky Dog Dash, a family-friendly roller coaster that zips and dips across the land with smooth launches and fun airtime. If you get a chance to ride it, don't pass it up. It's an absolute crowd pleaser and one of the most re-rideable coasters at Walt Disney World. There's also Alien Swirling Saucers, a spinning ride that gets more gentle than it looks, themed after those little green aliens from the Toy Story movies. It's fun, it's colourful, and it's the perfect warm-up or cool-down between big attractions. Toy Story Land officially opened in June of 2018, and it was part of Disney's major push to bring more immersive, character-driven spaces to the parks. And it absolutely delivers. Every detail is playful, nostalgic, and built to make you smile. Okay, so we're going to head to Toy Story Mania, Midway Mania, which is a 45-minute ride. So see how this one works out. But now, we're here for the grand finale, Toy Story Mania. This ride takes the charm of an old-school carnival, adds in the fast pace of vintage video games, and cranks it all up with modern 3D technology. You hop in a spinning ride vehicle, grab your spring-loaded cannon, and compete in a series of interactive games themed around everything from ring tosses to pie throwing and balloon popping. It's part ride, part game, and part friendly competition. The premise, you're one of Andy's new toys, joining Woody, Buzz, and the gang for a day at the Midway. Every scene is bursting with colour, sound, and kinetic energy. And the better you aim, the higher your score. It's one of those attractions that's just as fun to watch as it is to play, and it's a brilliant mix of nostalgia and next-gen theme park tech. If you're ending your day here, you're doing it right. Toy Story Mania is fast, fun, and full of replay value. And walking out of Toy Story Land under the glow of those hanging lights is just the right vibe to close out the night. And with that is the end of the day here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So I think we completed 4 or 5 rides, had some snacks, we did leave and come back. So what are our thoughts on AI? Well, today's a Thursday and it's actually the 19th of June and it was pretty busy here. The last episode that we shot, which was at Magic Kingdom, believe it or not, was earlier this week on the Saturday, so Saturday the 14th, and it was a lot quieter. So as we're getting into summer and the crowds kind of pick up, I still think using AI is an invaluable tool to help plan your day. However, keep in mind there isn't going to be anything that you can do other than getting the lightning lane to speed up the process, especially during peak times. So with that, it's down to you to decide whether you think the lightning lane is worth it. If you do, go ahead and put your comments in the link down below and let us know if you think it's better, it's for you, you would personally purchase the lightning lane. Otherwise, next one's going to be Epcot, so we'll see you there.